Hi there, I'm Seb Maley, and in this video we'll take a look at HMRC's compliance activity in the private sector following the reform to the IR35 rules in 2021. When the reform was eventually introduced, having been delayed for a year because of COVID-19, we obviously saw a high level of risk aversion amongst private sector firms, which had the knock-on effect of thousands of contractors having to move out of their limited companies and into PAYE models like umbrella companies. It seemed that a lot of firms felt that the sheer risk of an investigation and potential liabilities and fines from HMRC outweighed the benefit of engaging flexible independent workers who were operating in business on their own account. As this was happening, what Qdos, along with many other status experts, tried to stress was that the rules were entirely manageable, providing firms took their responsibilities seriously and implemented robust processes to handle their new obligations. The reality is that it is legitimate, feasible and appropriate for companies to maintain a population of independent workers without having to take drastic action which will unfairly push these workers into the no man's land between employment and self-employment. Thankfully, many firms heeded this advice, and Qdos were able to facilitate over 20,000 fair and impartial determinations, which meant contractors could continue to operate outside IR35. A big unknown was how HMRC would handle compliance activity. Given they had earmarked a significant tax yield in respect to the reform, it was obvious that they wouldn't rest on their laurels and would seek to challenge firms in respect of their processes and decisions. At the introduction of the rules, a lot was made of a supposed soft landing, which the government framed as a pledge to go easy on businesses, but in actual fact it was simply a removal of penalties, not less compliance activity and certainly not less tax liability. Indeed, in September 2021, just 5 months after the reform was introduced, we had the first tranche of letters being sent to private sector firms which sought to collect details of how they'd managed the rules and how they had made determinations. One of these letters was received by a firm that we had been supporting, who engaged several hundred contractors and had managed to retain the vast majority of them in outside IR35 positions. HMRC went into a lot of detail throughout this 18-month check, and the organisation, with our support, submitted documentary evidence of their processes and samples of determinations that had been made using our status review platform. In May this year, HMRC confirmed that they were happy with the work that the organisation had done and that there was a low risk that there was any non-compliance. The check was therefore closed down and the organisation could continue to engage contractors outside IR35 and remain competitive and agile when it comes to attracting the best talent. This example demonstrates that businesses should not be fearful of the rules and that, in actual fact, HMRC have been very reasonable and pragmatic when kicking the tyres of the approach businesses have had. It also shows that companies should not feel beholden to the CESS tool, and that more robust alternatives will provide a ready-made audit trail should HMRC come knocking. There are many more checks and inquiries underway, but this first example is certainly a positive starting point, and we hope that HMRC continue to act this pragmatically as time progresses. We'll keep you fully updated on any more cases like this, so please subscribe to our channel to receive news as it breaks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.